All right, folks, we have some exclusive information here for you guys in regards to being able to get the Nintendo Switch 2 on day one if you do not have a pre-order. This is stuff that has been previously unannounced and is likely being announced by certain retail outlets very, very shortly, maybe even as soon as this week, if not next week, of course. But before we dive into this, I just want to remind you we are giving away 2 Nintendo Switch 2 Mario Kart World bundles. You can enter through the link down in the description or in the pinned comment. Hey, go ahead and enter and maybe win one for yourself if you need one, or for a friend or a family member, or heck, look, you want to resell the damn thing. What am I to do? I can't stop you. It's a free giveaway. So, hey, good luck. And let's go ahead and get into this information, because I have been in contact with some people behind the scenes who have verified their identities to me. We will not be revealing any sources in this video, but I have heard on good authority from now multiple places that yes, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be available at Target on day one in person in the store. Now, typically how this works with Target, or has worked for years, is that when you wanted to get a new unit, be it a PlayStation 5 Pro or a Switch OLED or whatever, you would go online at midnight or early in the AM anyways, and order through Target's website and get an in-store pickup. And then you can go and pick up the unit in store. That, however, is not how things are being handled on June 5th. I have been told by a Nintendo representative that no, Target is being mandated to indeed put out their units on store shelves on June 5th and will not be accepting online orders for in-store pickup on launch day. That's right. You have to go to the retail outlet and buy it like any other product on the shelf. That is what Target is doing on the 5th. Now, on June 6th, you will be able to order online for in-store pickup, assuming everything doesn't sell out on June 5th. And it's not just the console. This includes the Pro Controller, the camera, and the physical copy of Mario Kart World. None of those will you be able to order online for in-store pickup at Target on day one. Now, this is according to this representative. And just to kind of back this all up, I did talk in depth with Jake Randall about this. You guys know, the pre-order extraordinaire, and he has gone ahead and jumped a little bit ahead of my video. I'll probably putting this out because we talked, and put this out into the ether for you guys to chew on. He says Target Switch 2 launch stock may work differently than normal. Instead of online orders for in-store pickup, it's possible all launch day stock is reserved for walk-in customers. I can't fully verify one way or the other, but there are Nintendo reps that have been spotted in Targets setting up Switch 2 displays saying Target is doing the launch day stock in-store only. Since I can't fully verify, the best way to approach this is to watch for an online restock anytime after midnight. He'll be streaming on YouTube, and if Target never drops, then go to store. If this is real, though, I do expect Target to announce it ahead of time. So hang tight for now. Just be aware this is possible, and I will get you a more solid update before launch. And here's proof we talked. Huge shout out to Ninty Prime, who had sources share this with him, and because he shared with me enough to be able to make this tweet, he has great sources and has been doing great work. Well, first off, Jake, thank you so much. You do amazing work. This is literally your bread and butter. So of course I had to reach out and check with you, because again, trying to make sure that we're really just doing this for the consumers. Anyone who's trying to get a Nintendo Switch 2 day one, who doesn't have a pre-order yet, we are trying to make sure you can get your hands on this as easily as possible. So it does sound like Target will have stuff day one. Now, what we need to note, however, is because, look, I can't guarantee that Target will have them available to walk it in store, even though I'm being told this by a Nintendo representative. What I can tell you is that doesn't mean there aren't going to be opportunities at midnight. So GameStop and Best Buy are both taking orders at midnight on June 5th. So you can still stay up, watch Jake Randall's live stream. I highly encourage you to, and ease your mind and get your order in on that midnight stream. But there are multiple ways in person to potentially get your hands on things. First off, obviously, we just talked about Target, highly likely going to be in-store walk-in to buy. Walmart as well is going to be an in-store walk-in to buy. Walmart always has stock day one to walk in store and purchase. So that's going to give you 2 options there, and potentially your local GameStop. So what GameStop is doing is they are taking additional pre-orders at 3 p.m. Local time. So not 3 p.m. Eastern, it's 3 p.m. local time. So Eastern, Pacific, Mountain Standard, Central, all that stuff, right? Whatever your local time is in the United States, they are taking additional pre-orders at 3 p.m. on June 4th. GameStop already announced this, and we talked about it in a prior video. In fact, we had Jake Randall come on to talk about it. And what's cool about that is if those orders don't sell out, that store already has all the units. They already have all the units for their prior pre-orders, and they have all the units for the new pre-orders they're taking. If those pre-orders don't sell out, whatever is left available, you will be able to walk in the next day and buy in person. So there is an opportunity that at least 3 out of the 4 retail stores could have, 2 of them probably for sure, 1 for sure, 2 most likely, 3 high possibility that you'll be able to walk in store on June 5th and be able to buy it without a pre-order. Best Buy will probably have some units like that as well. We have heard some things, or at least I have heard some things about how Best Buy will have additional units to walk in store and buy. It does seem like Nintendo is heavily emphasizing this idea that they want customers to be able to just walk in the store without a pre-order and buy things day one. Of course, GameStop could sell out of all that additional stock, and sales are sales for Nintendo in the end. They'll be happy regardless, but I do think that this is just good news for consumers. It gives us multiple ways, both online order-wise, an extra pre-order time in person, and yes, walking in store to buy. It sounds like Nintendo is trying very, very hard in combination with the retailers to make this a very smooth transition to buy a system. I cannot remember a console launch in my adult life being this smooth at this point to get your hands on one. It sounds like if you're vigilant, if you try even just a little bit, you should be able to get your hands on a Switch 2 at launch if you want one. Now, are they all going to sell out on day one? I do suspect they'll all be sold out day one. If not day one, by the end of the launch weekend, I presume you won't be able to find any in store by the time we get to Sunday. And I presume that, all the online orders will probably be gone on day one, the additional online orders. But all the ones in store, I suspect you really aren't going to be able to find any probably by Sunday. That doesn't mean there won't be a quick restock coming that following Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday. Nintendo does tend to provide restocks every week. At least that's what they did in the past. So, and we don't have any restock information yet. So if you're wondering, like, oh, if I'm gone that weekend and I still want to get one, when's it going to be restocked? No details on that yet. We'll keep you updated if things do sell out and it is really hard to get after that Sunday. Hey, when we know restocks are coming, Jake Randall for sure will be on top of it. And if I hear anything, I'll share it with you guys as well. So I just really wanted to get this video out there to inform you guys all about how you can get your hands on Switch 2 day one if you don't have a pre-order, and how to get additional pre-orders if you're trying to get another one, say for a friend or a family member, a sister, a child, whatever. And hey, if you just want to walk in and have that walk-in experience, how to do it as well. Now, I do get asked once in a while for people looking to line up for like those 3 p.m. pre-orders, or let's say even you're looking to walk in store on Target and Walmart, like when should you get to these stores? Because there's likely going to be lines. There's likely going to be lines at GameStop before 3 p.m. for pre-orders. There's likely going to be lines at Walmart and Target outside the stores before they open to get the in-person stuff. So how should we handle that situation? And here's the reality. It really does vary depending on where you live and the population and all of that. Because a lower population areas, you could probably wait almost until the store opens, almost till 3 p.m. Other locations, you might have to be there several hours early. So the tip I usually give the most is do a drive-by, and not that kind of drive-by, but kind of drive by the store and glance if there's already a line forming. Some stores will occasionally let the line form inside the lobby area, but they just won't let you into the store. Most of them don't, though. Most of the time you're camping outside. So obviously being prepared if you are going to be waiting in line. If you do drive by, let's say it's June 4th and you're going to go for that 3 p.m. pre-order at Best Buy. Well, let's just say you're coming up and you check it at 9 a.m. and there's like nobody there. And then you come back at noon and you see, oh man, there's already like 5 people lined up. It's probably a good idea to go get in line. But you have to check. The line could be forming much sooner than that. That's why it's good to do multiple checks every couple hours just to see if it's worth lining up yet. And when you do go line up for this stuff, especially for these overnight, midnight ones where you're going to be potentially showing up at like 3 a.m. to potentially line up to get there for store opening, like 5, 6, 7 hours later. What I will note is that you really should bring a buddy. You should never do stuff like this alone. There is it's called a safety in numbers. It also gives you this ability to do something that I can't stress is very important, because people always forget. We are humans. And sometimes we got to use the bathroom. And if you leave that line to go somewhere to go to the bathroom, you could lose your spot. People around you will fill in and take your spot, especially if it's a long line and people are worried about getting that system. They won't care that you went to the bathroom. You can try to ask the person in front and the person behind, and they might be friendly, but why rely on the kindness of strangers to hold your spot when you can have the buddy system? With the buddy system, one of you guys can leave, go to the bathroom, come back, the other person can leave, go to the bathroom, come back, and you still have that safety in numbers, and you still have that buddy that if you aren't coming back and they know something's up, they can go try to find you and make sure you're okay. So the buddy system is always something I always recommend for stuff like this. I know when I'm doing even like the midnight launch at GameStop, and we're going to be doing like a 4-hour live stream right from GameStop, I'm not doing that alone. Eric's going to be there with me. We both got a system at GameStop, so he's going to be there with me. The buddy system. It's very important to keep yourself safe. It also keeps you entertained and gives you someone to talk to. These sort of lines usually are a lot of fun. Everyone's usually pretty friendly in these lines, and it ends up being like this whole experience of waiting and excitement for the new system and stuff. So even if you're just going to go to like a midnight launch, it's cool to get there a few hours early just because it's fun. There's a lot of fun around waiting for a new system launch, getting your last time playing Switch with other people before Switch 2 comes out, when everything shifts over to that. Like literally, if you think about it, in that line waiting for midnight at Best Buy or waiting for midnight at GameStop, because those are the two doing midnight launches, when you're waiting in line, that literally could be the last time you actually truly play your Nintendo Switch 1. Let that sink in. That could be it. It's pretty wild, right? And being able to do it with fellow Nintendo fans is always a good time because, again, backwards compatible. Pretty much everything's playable on Switch 2. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this video. Hopefully, you guys learned something from this. We'll link to Jake Randall's tweet down below. I wanted to make sure I put this in a video before I got any tweets out. I will get some tweets out on this as well. But I really wanted to get this information out to you. I do expect Target to be announcing this, if not this week, for sure next week. Because, right, we got pre-order days and we got the release date coming up here in less than 3 weeks. So it's this week or next week, I suspect. If you're wondering why Target hasn't announced yet, the biggest thing I heard is that they already know, and they're just working on the communication to all the stores. So it's a unified front when this gets announced. Just like it was with GameStop when they announced it. It was a unified front. Just like it was with Best Buy when they announced midnight orders on the 5th. Unified front. It's important that everyone at retail knows what's going on. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next video.